You've reached call in Mockery.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I submit to you that this man has no legs.
Order in the court. I don't believe that to be true. Now, if you could just wheel me over there, I'll show you that I do have legs.
Guilty. All charges. Bring in the next case.
Okay.
And bring in the next case.
All right. The next case of this night court, yes, is this man has no arms.
Guilty. Sentenced to 15 years of watching Night Court.
The new one, where
The new
she's
one
like,
where-
"Hey there, Bill," or whatever,
Whatever, it doesn't
your
matter.
name is.
How come? It looks bad, but everyone says they're watching it. But no one it's the Avatar 2 effect. It's the Avatar effect. It's incredible. It's making all the money. It's got high viewership. You talk to anyone, they're like, never seen it, never
heard of it, never. They remade that.
You have a hair on your chin.
Yeah, it's called a beard. Well, Landon's a little afraid of my puberty. I guess that some of us go
You look like an idiot.
Well, some of us go through things in life, right? We sprout.
Yes, sprouts.
Furs. This can't. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about this.
Yes.
Could you just cut this out?
Oh,
Cut
wait,
this out of
no,
the
it's
show.
on the other side.
Cut this out of the show.
You can't do it.
Could you cut this out of the show?
Yeah, it fell.
Could you
There it
cut
goes.
this out?
Look, see.
Look, see.
Oh, you didn't see it.
Watch the video. Look
Welcome
what Landon
to-
just did.
What?
There was someone, as I was coming to, welcome to Colin Mockery. I was on my way to the
Dubmit 309 Dubmit.
Yes.
Give us a call.
Not Good, Not Bad Studios is where we're at. And I was on my way here, and there was someone running. Now, be advised, it's dark out. So the guy was running with a full, light up jacket. And then as I drove past him, I saw that he also had a headlamp on.
Safe.
This is why you can, if you run in the day, this is
Yeah.
why the sun is there. I just don't, I'm going to take up, I could either run in the day or at night when it's extremely dangerous and I have to buy all this gear. I just don't buy it. I think he's trying to prove
Well, you
something.
don't. You don't buy it, but he does.
I tried to, but it was all out. I went to the store. I said, do you have the big reflective vest? And do you have the headlamp? And they said, nope, all fresh out.
Well-
Rickenbacker bought it.
Yeah, you went to the wrong store. If you would have gone to the good people at Shields, you would have.
Well, Shields always has everything in stock, right?
Yeah.
They don't just carry one of everything.
No.
If you see someone wearing a hat and they said, I got this at Shields, guess what? There's going to be at least 15 more of that hat there.
Oh, yeah. You're going to find what you need at Shields.
I love that motto.
Okay, Keanu Reeves has come out against AI. Keanu Reeves has come out against AI. He says deep fakes are bad. He does not trust AI deep fake technology, and he's put into his contracts that this will never happen for him. I think he's worried about finally putting in a good performance.
Did you make that up? Was that a big...
I have a reputation to uphold.
Because they made him young, right? For the Matrix, like a Mountain Dew commercial for the Matrix. And he's like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Me and Carrie look cool.
No, he did. There's this article about it, and he references Plato's cave.
Wow. Yes, of course. For if you were shackled to the wall and could only see the shadows before thine, and then you found out, what if you were to turn around and see that, no, there's something behind us. And you go outside and you realize that the shadows are, there's gotta be more to life than shadows on a cave wall, gotta go outside. So Keanu thinks that, what?
I mean, I agree with him. I just thought it was, hey, that's a funny. If I was to write a late night joke 20 years ago when we could all agree that he's bad at acting, now you couldn't do that. That's why you come to the Not Good, Not Bad presents Colin Mockery show, because you get the hackneyed late night jokes that you could have told 20 years ago when we were all on the same page. But now you're conflating someone being a good person with being good at their job, and those two things are not the same, you know?
And our show's behind a paywall, so it's a little bit harder for people to get this. They can't just access what we're saying here.
Yeah. Well, that's what, there's 60 people on the other side of this wall.
What wall? I just see the things I've always seen. Just I see the cave wall, and I see some moving, you know?
Yeah.
What if you were in that cave? This is a great thought experiment. Has anyone done this before? What if you were in that cave and you got out? You know what I would do? I'd run back in. I'd go, too much. Yeah. It's like when you flip through the channels and it's like, I'm just going back to Friends. You know, you're flipping and it's like, hello, it's me, Rocco. Crocodile. Me wants it. You're like, what? Is that real? You click to the next one is like Martha Stewart, but she's just in overalls and no shirt underneath.
Yeah. And you're like,
so you stay on that
for just to see what's going to play out.
Yeah. See
and then
what
you
pops
realize,
out or plays out.
Yeah.
And then you like, this is too much life. I just want to go back to what I know, which is Friends. Rossi, Bibby, Steve-O.
Speaking of Friends.
Yeah, Rickenbacker.
Yeah. You get Chandler Bing. He goes into have we talked about this? Probably. I just want to, in defense of the drug-addled brain of, what's that guy?
Perry?
Yeah, Matthew Perry. He goes into a drug coma 20 years ago when we were all making fun of Keanu Reeves.
Right.
He comes out of it like 6 months ago, writes a book.
Yeah.
And thinks that we're all still making the same joke. But it's not necessarily his fault.
No.
Because if you go back and look, people were saying that he was untalented back then.
Right.
So now the same joke that he should be a dead person because he's untalented, the same joke that, I don't know, Jay Leno was making.
Hey, did you see this? Hey, did you hear about this? There's a guy named Keanu Reeves, and he's in Point Break, the movie where he plays a surfer. What do you think of that? How about this? How about you surf out of the movie theater?
Hey, Jay. Whoa.
They
If you're
always
not
do it.
watching the video, you're missing out on so much. We're trying to get all the people that are listening to our show, like convenient places, like your podcast app. And we're saying, log on to YouTube, find our YouTube, which is like youtube.com/channel/JB7HQRTZF249876. Find the latest video, watch it. If you watch it on Firefox, you can hit the little thing where it makes it a little mini thing. So you can put it in the corner of your, up in the corner of your screen. So while you're doing your other work, you can always watch. But then when your boss comes in, you can't minimize that because it's on top. It floats on top of everything else. So then you're trying to scramble around and hide it somehow. So you turn your screen off, and your boss says, "Is there something wrong with your monitor?" And you go, "Oh, I don't use that one." He goes, "So we got you two monitors, and you just use the one." And so then you turn it back on, and it's like it's just a huge video.
Martha
like,
Stewart.
Yep.
Let's see, what else? You hear about some of these beauty products.
You do.
There's all these beauty products coming out, and there's sometimes you appeal to the sort of expertise of those who make the product.
Yeah.
So there's some products that are from the fine people at Dr. Jart's. And then there's also a brand called Dr. Gross. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be putting your makeup on my face, okay, Dr. Gross? I don't think I'm going to be using Dr. Jarts to make me look younger.
Imagine this, a beautiful woman on screen, the waves crashing. She's looking, there's a tiger in a cage that's being suspended from the heavens. Yeah. The music, there's a 20-piece orchestra and they're all on screen in front of the ocean. And she's running and there's a man in a suit chasing her. And he's like, Madame, what are you wearing? And she looks back and she goes, it is the Jarts way. And then it's like, the Jarts way. Jarts, Dr. Jarts. That's your commercial. Because all these, I mean, we're getting back into weird perfume commercials. So
Yeah.
I think we could have a cool Dr. Gross commercial.
I think so. I think that same exact commercial, you have like Margot Robbie running and, I don't know, Johnny Depp playing a guitar on a hill for some reason. And she's running and then...
Well, I guess he's innocent. Get him. Who else could we get to play the guitar? Can't think of
He's
anyone.
about... Yeah, I think he's...
Well,
only...
Slash is in the other commercial.
No.
You're hired.
Slash admitted that they would have been canceled if they were around today.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of saying, yeah, we did
a lot of bad stuff.
we did some things that you simply cannot agree with. Which is funny. I mean, we all know that these bands do that and did that.
At a point, the top hat was cool, right? Like, he's wearing a top hat.
I don't think so.
But to keep having to do it, you know how sometimes it's like you see someone's like, they're still wearing those they're still wearing Fat Farms. Mm-hmm. Like, they're really making it their thing.
Yeah.
To have to keep doing the top hat just seems like, I feel like if he is canceled at some point, we can retroactively say he's paid his debt to society. He's had to wear this stupid hat.
Yeah.
Right? It looks like he got it out of some chest in some video game.
God.
Look at though. Look.
Just put it off to the side. See how I'm doing it? You can't hear anything?
Here, hold on. Okay. So where was I? Oh yeah, Slash's
Slash.
top hat. I mean, what is this show? What are we?
What
what
do you
are we
wanna
doing?
Okay, well, here. Okay, fine. Do you want to just get to what we've been watching?
Hero. Okay, fine. That's like Big Hero 6. That's what the name I would have called it. Hero. Okay, fine. Like, it's just okay. The movie's just fine.
Animation is for adults.
It's animation domination this week on Fox. You've got Lowish. You've got Barge. You've got
Barge.
You've got Brap. Well, maybe. You've got
What? And Brickleberry.
and Brickleberry. That's right. Sorry.
No. Okay. Here's something else I can bring up since you apparently have nothing to say.
No, I mean, there's stuff that I want to save for later.
Sure.
Make the people suck the bone to get the meat, you know?
Yeah.
Crack
pee-pee.
the bone and suck the marrow. What? Oh.
Let's see, another story out of Hollywood. That's what we kind of talk about, pop culture and stuff. Our good friend, our fellow podcaster, we've been doing it about the same time. We have similar listenership, I would say. Marc Maron, he has the show where he's in his garage and he slams the gate down or whatever.
It's not so much slamming the gate down. It's more about the act of making sure it's secured.
Okay. Well, so here's a guy who's a comedian. He's been a comedian for years. He has the podcast. Then he gets into acting a little bit, and he's doing the movie, and he's Joker, or he's like Joker's, I don't know, he's like Joker's accountant or something.
Right.
I never saw the movie. And then he gets some auditions to be in other movies because he's in Glow. He's in Glow. Okay. Glow. It was canceled before it had the time to finish its story. It's really quite sad, isn't it? Here's a show set in the 80s, in the heyday of the 80s, and they didn't let him finish the show. It's really quite sad. Glow was a great show. Maron was not the best part. He wasn't the best. Yeah. We can throw that up. Anyway, okay, so Maron, he's at a live podcast taping for the Happy, Sad, Confused or whatever.
I just want to make sure people could see that you guys would make a pretty good couple.
Oh, thank you. He wasn't kidding. So we would make a good couple. Ow! So Maron's at a live show. So he's a comedian, right? And you get a comedian in a live setting, he's going to want to make some people laugh.
Hold on, like this.
He can't help it.
He's like, God, I hate this crap.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hate this crap.
So he's getting interviewed about his. He had an audition for Avatar 2.
What the hell was that?
He had an audition for Avatar 2 at James Cameron's compound, and basically he just tears into the idea of even going to an audition here because, as he tells it, you drive into a city that James Cameron built. It's like a whole city of technology, and there's acrobats, and there are just actors there ready to read with you at any time. And you don't know what's happening because they want to be secretive, and they make you read the script while you're there. And it's, as we know now, of course, it's a 3+ hour movie. So you're locked in a room, and you can't use your phone or anything. You're just locked in a room reading probably 300-page script or anything. So he tells this whole story, blah, blah, blah. And he says, why would I ever want to be in that movie? I had no idea what the character was. It was bad. I don't like to be away from my house. He's telling this funny story. And then the James, I don't know I know that somehow he's made the most money on his movies, but is he really that good? This Cameron guy, people go to bat for him so hard.
He's an enigma to me because I knew him as growing up. My family and I knew him as the Titanic guy, right?
Of course.
They said, "Come here, watch this scene." He's drawing, right?
Yes.
So I knew him for that.
You're at your friend's house. They say, "I have this two VHS tapes. You're gonna want to watch one."
Yeah.
And I say, "Okay." I'll check it out, but even at that young age, I couldn't help but be transfixed with the story that was unfolding. I'm not saying he's not good.
Oh, I like Titanic. I don't know if I like it now.
Yeah,
I like when the guy falls off the boat and he hits the propeller.
I saw
that just seems like a little too brutal. You know, he's like, like this is a real event, Cameron. He's like, what if one of the guys what if one of the guys hits the propeller and he's like, Cameron, that's too much. You're done. James, you're done. Come here. Cameron, we don't hit. We don't touch the vending machine on set. Tight budget on that one. But, of course, biggest movie of all time.
Yes.
So they said, Cameron, you get one thing out of the vending machine. What do you want?
Twizzlers.
What do you want?
Twizzlers.
What number is it?
B9. Just like my Tuma.
Oh, speaking of Tumas, we find out James Cameron actually made Terminator 2 also.
Tumas.
So people like this guy for this movie, right?
And it's the tale as old as time. He actually made Aliens also, which is actually better than the original. And Terminator 2 is actually better than the original. And I have the same opinions as everyone else on the internet. and I think I'm original in saying that, but I'm actually just following the crowd. So until you admit Spider-Man 3 is good, you do not talk to me. Look at me. But until you agree the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, I have been out in the streets fighting the good fight for sequels that are better than their reputation, okay? And you want to sit here and talk to me about Halloween 3, Season of the Witch being a good, fun movie, ironically or not, I don't care. You want to talk to me about defending movies that are bad but you think are good?
It's actually the best one because Michael Myers isn't in it.
Talk to me when you had talk to me later.
Here's my hot take. I don't want to hear it from you. I don't need 5 years from now. I don't need the. You know what? Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is very good because I'm getting it.
It already happened
from
for
these
me.
stupid people with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Saying, actually, the Phantom Menace, Darth Maul is cool.
Actually, I'll take you over my knee and spank you until it's red. I don't even care at this point. I'll do that.
You're a little schoolboy, and I'm a nun, and it is time for you to be punished accordingly with the rule: I wrap your knuckles, I wrap your tush, I wrap around near your bush. So
Cameron
think
makes
about that.
Cameron makes all these movies,
But he's an enigma to me because I feel like he's always a dick.
he's a jerk. He makes 3 movies in the 80s and then takes 50 years to make Avatar. And then, like, what? Okay, I get it and whatever. And I have my own thing about Spielberg, but obviously Spielberg is better. He's made like 80 movies that are all unanimously beloved.
Right, Warhorse. He actually did Poltergeist. Little movie trivia for you. Steven Spielberg actually did Poltergeist because Tobe Hooper, yes, I call him by Tobe, he wasn't good enough to direct it. So a little guy sneaked in there, a little guy named Spielberg, and he said, move over. And he sat down and he said, action. Because that's all these people do. Stop telling me Avatar's so good because of the director. I want to hear about the writer, which is
Jim Cameron.
Exactly. He's not the guy that directed it.
So Maron does all this, whatever, and then people are like,
and I'm marinating in this story right now.
As an actor, he should have known what his character was, taking all agency away from James Cameron, the director, who is in charge of telling you what the character is. So
him and Jim Cameron.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the guy who wrote the character should know.
These blue people.
But of course, that gets taken out of completely out of context. But I find myself saying, I don't like Maron. So I really have no dog in this fight except for the truth.
The truth is, and this is a lot of, and we are hitting on some hot stuff today, boys.
Yeah, of course, that's what we do here.
There used to be a time, when you could just tell jokes as a stand-up, and now your jokes are becoming headlines, and not the good way, not in the Saturday Night Live way.
Yeah,
and I do call it Saturday Night Live, just like Conan and David Spade.
Yeah.
On Saturday Night Live. I'm sitting in my car going, how is they saying that?
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live.
On Saturday Night Live, which I get it. It's a bad title. It's long.
You could call it SNL.
Yeah, you could call it like Don. Like me, the only guy that's ever been on the show, Donald Jr. Calling it SNL, which stands for Saturday and Live.
That's right.
You know, there's a lot of people out there that are telling me, as we know, it's not exactly at night. It's not exactly live. They do the rehearsal. Sometimes you have to be careful because you're going to. Sometimes it plays better at rehearsal. And Lord, he looks up from his popcorn and he's
so stupid.
If I was ever blessed with a Saturday Night Live audition, I would do my Lorne to him.
Everyone else does.
I'm not going to get on, right? So I might as well go in there and go, okay, get off the shed, okay? You know?
Hold my calls
and this buttered popcorn. Do you know what we're talking about?
No.
So Marc Maron tells this funny, which is also a joke. When you're doing stand-up.
Well, he's not doing stand-up at this point. He's doing a live podcast taping where he is being interviewed by Josh Horowitz on the Happy Sad Confused podcast.
But here's my point. You make the story funny.
Of course.
And here's why it's funny. And it's true, though.
It's true. You embellish, especially for a live audience, but you're going to embellish anyway. And Maron is known as being a grumpy goose.
And can you imagine Avatar 2 starring Marc Maron with his like nicotine lozenge firmly in his cheek? He's like, we got to get our tails Our tails to have sex with.
Well, he asks the guy, he's like, who got the part? And he's like, I think it was Jermaine from...
Whoa.
And he was like, was he even in it? He's like, he's barely in it. He's like, yeah, so I would have been in New Zealand for 4 years, they told me. And I would have had 3 lines in the movie, and I hate being away from my house. So, you know, it kind of seems like he told him no, but I don't know. And he's like, I like James Cameron, but I just didn't want to do the movie, and it was a weird experience.
And Jermaine gets to go to his
It's
own
his
bed
home.
every night.
Yes, it's his home.
Hey, James.
But anyway,
I'll work on it.
Yeah. All that being said, I said, okay, I don't like Maron anyway. I think he's kind of not a very funny comedian.
Okay, look, my dogs in this fight, they're in their kennel right now. 'Cause I'm not getting them out. Because I don't want to. There's a lot of people online that are going to start going, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to do that to you.
Sure. And he's always kind of a jerk, too. Like, you listen to a couple of them WTFs. I call it WTFs.
I call them, well, that's because
it's like Saturday Night Live.
most of his episodes are him apologizing to someone
Yeah.
for something he did.
See, I thought you were an idiot, but turns out you're actually kind of a good guy.
And then his guest is like, your thoughts when I invented E equals MC square, that I was a stupid man.
You had your tongue out. You know, you're just making a mockery of the whole thing.
Hold on, my bars have gone into a black hole.
Yeah, I see, that's what I just thought you were kind of hacky.
So he has a new special out over on HBO, and I read a thing about it that was like, Marc Maron is our finest comedian. He has grown into old age with the grace and wit of Mark Twain or something like that.
I hope I grow into old age. I hope when I'm old I've grown into it, because it'll look weird if I haven't.
Yeah.
It's like a Benjamin Button situation that got stalled halfway through the process. So I'm getting older, but it's not looking right.
Like that Hezbollah guy.
There's another story, speaking of Mr. Spielberg. Headline, ready?
Okay.
This is the news segment of the show. So just sit with us and learn some stuff.
Okay.
It's not all jokes all the time. The headline was, Spielberg turned down Harry Potter. Quote, I'm so glad I did. I missed the speeding bullet or whatever.
Right.
So then you go, what is this all about?
Right.
Because I know reading I say there's something hidden beneath the surface here.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is the fact that he said, I would have to be away from my family for 2 years.
Yes. I just
so I'm
had a
glad I
kid.
turned it down.
Yeah.
That's it. All these people just don't want to go.
And-
They don't want to go.
And of course, his basically protege, Chris Columbus.
And he said, Chris, take this for me. And he's like, but what about my family? He said, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about them. I'll take care of them. And he's like, wait, what's going on? And he's like, just turns his head a complete 180.
Yeah.
Pats him on the butt.
and then he walks backwards away. But his face is forward.
Yeah.
That's why That's why after Chamber of Secrets, he found out about the Spielberg doing some rooting around in his own Chamber of Secrets.
Yes.
And he said, I'm not doing a third one. I got to go home because my wife,
Yeah.
Martha Spielberg, needs me at home now. My kids, Donald Spielberg and Donald Spielberg Jr., need me at home.
Yeah. So I sit down to watch Marc Maron and see if it is as good as this write-up that I read. And of course, part of it is about his girlfriend, Lynn Shelton, died a couple of years ago at this point, I believe. So you know he's going to talk about it. It's called, what is it called? Bleak Into Darkness or something. So you're like, all right, let's get into it.
This is why we're behind a paywall, everyone.
It's just,
funniest
it's not for me. He's fine. I smiled a couple times.
He's a storyteller.
Yeah, but it's not good stories. And it's just not. It's not. I'm sorry. Don't hate me, okay? It's just not for me. For me, he just kind of says the stuff that we already know.
Is that a problem with comedians having podcasts Like,
I don't even listen to his podcast though, because that is a problem.
I know, but you hear all this stuff because you only have so many stories. Usually you work on a special.
Right.
You go, it's been 3 years. We haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Penn from Penn and Teller. And he comes out, he kills. Right?
Yeah.
And then you don't hear from him. But now it's like, oh, now we listen to Penn's podcast every week.
Yeah.
One of Penn's Patreons, the Pentreons, right?
Yeah. I mean, that is a problem, but I haven't heard anything from Marc Maron for probably 5 years. So
You guys don't get along.
No, I don't think he's funny.
Yeah, that probably did it when you told him that.
Yeah. When I'm on his show, WTF,
Yeah.
I will tell him, look, I'll be honest. I know you want to get honest here. I've never found you to be funny. And he'll tell me the same thing, and we'll have a good chuckle about that.
He talks to his what the effernauts and the what the effertons.
He does a long thing of like, I'm working on a one-man show. It's called like Life During the Pandemic or something. And you're like, he's like,
What? No, I don't want to go outside. No, I don't know. I don't like puzzles.
and he just does stuff like that. And you're like, okay. You get the stuff dealing with his grief and all that. That's it's interesting, not exactly funny because it is uncomfortable and sad. But so I don't know.
So what do you give it out of 10 bags of Marc Maron coffee?
I'll have to give it 5 out of 10.
5?
Yeah.
You heard that here, folks. Boomer lives.
Boomer lives.
Boomer lives. We tried, but
I just want to know how people get so many freaking guests for their shows. It's like you're kind of a comedian in LA for a while.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the Obama's on your show. I mean, how does that track? I mean, seriously, I want that PR person.
Honestly.
No, really. And we will have the demonologist that we promised.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago, something came up. I think probably an exorcism or something.
Yeah,
I
we're
would think.
looking into it, but we're working it out with the people. So that will be coming up. And once that happens for us, I'm sure the Obamas will be soon to follow.
Yeah.
I also watched the new Jim Jeffries stand-up special.
Oh, how's that?
Fine.
Okay.
Whatever. I did find it interesting. They both had jokes about Greta Thunberg. It's like
hot news.
yeah, it's like the people on the right hate her. I guess people on the left hate her. They're like are annoyed with her, but it's like, I don't know. No one has a funny take on it. Yeah, if you want to make fun of someone, I'll hear you out if it's funny.
Well, I'm sure Jeffrey's
his
take was kind of like,
His
it?
was naughty.
yeah, I bet.
His was naughty indeed.
I bet. I wonder if that's hard to keep up. Because his first couple specials, explosive. People are like, what is this? And he's like, hey, I'm not taking any shit from nobody.
Yeah.
I don't like nobody. You know what they did with our guns? They took them away.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa.
Well, that clip
And you're
goes.
like,
yeah.
He's got to keep doing like, hey, you ever used a unicycle? Stick it up your arse. They took our unicycles away. That's why we're all bicycles. You're like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. His first couple are good to great, but he's he's fallen off a little bit, and I think that is it though, because
It's crazy that people think I'm the one that doesn't like much.
I laughed more during his than I did Maron's. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But I still give it probably a 5 or a 6, maybe a 6 on if I'm really charitable. But no, his thing on why are we mad at Thunberg even for a joke? I don't know. I don't get it.
I think we have to leave this kid alone. I mean, I get that she stands for something.
Well,
that
she's 19
half
now.
Okay.
Which
well,
does come into
kill her.
which comes into play in Mr.
Okay.
Jeffries.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you just kind of sit there and go, you don't have to do this.
You don't have to do it because she's already getting enough from the people that hate her.
Yeah.
She's getting the death threats for what? Wanting to not kill the planet.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into it here.
No.
Folks,
and we
this
shouldn't.
is a funny pod. We know we're talking about how other stuff isn't funny, and you're listening to us and you're going, well, neither are you.
Yeah.
Well, we just want to say that we stand with Thunberg.
Sure.
And by the way, you can tune a fish. You can't tune a berg.
Hell, man. God, that's
That would be
poetic.
my joke. Like, what is it with what do you guys feel about her? You know what I think? I think you can tune a fish, but you can't tune a berg.
Yeah.
And then I think quit. You know?
Yeah.
I just retire right then and there. They hang my Joyzy up for everyone to see.
Mm-hmm.
Today. There's a bad. Babe Ruth there with his big diaper on or whatever. He's pointing at the sky. I'm gonna hit the bone. And he did. Now everyone's like, he said he was going.
He said he was going to, and he did it.
I gotta read. How many times I gotta read about this story in school? Took me 18 years to find out about the Trail of Tears. Every year I got.
That's true.
But you know what?
Okay,
When he
save this for
pointed-
your act.
Sorry. That's right.
Yes.
I'm bringing it out on the table here. Well,
See
we're
this in 5 months when you're special.
we're behind a paywall. So a lot of people aren't hearing this stuff.
In 5 months when we do film your comedy special, people are gonna be like, "Well,
We should.
episode 24."
This is kind of a classic stand-up special background, right?
We should do. A long time ago, we said we'll do an open mic and record it for the show. We should.
That's been an idea for a long time. I think we said in middle school we were going to sneak into a comedy
That is true.
club and do a
In middle
do a set.
school, when we were probably funnier.
Yeah.
I think back in, I do have the excuse that I did have COVID and I think it did partially eat my brain. But so I think I have gotten like stupider and less funny over the last 3 years.
Me too. I found since I had COVID, I still find it harder to talk.
Yeah.
Even at my house, I'm like, can you grab the from the
Yeah. You
Mad
use it to
myself.
stick it up your
pliers
to get the thing out from earlier.
that's up there.
Peg leg.
What I? He's coming around the bend. He's got Yep, that's my impression of a guy.
All right.
Did you hear about? Hey, you want to hear about my take on Watto? I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
The Star Wars
I
flying?
don't think you do.
The Star Wars flying man?
The Star Wars flying man. You want to hear about my take on Watto?
Sure.
Well, I think that
He doesn't have one.
I just wanted to get something that people could latch on to.
Yeah. Probably Watto from The Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
People like that now.
I read like 4 articles on Watto last night. Around
lot of Watto.
1:30 a.m.
A lot of Watto.
I read a lot of Watto.
That's why you can't think, is because you're up so late.
I'm up so late and I'm just reading Dribble. I'm reading Drek. It's like Mad Magazine. It's all Drek. It's black.
It's Drek and Black.
So I'm reading that. I'm reading people's hot takes on Watto from like 2014.
I just rewatched Phantom Menace for the first time in 20 years, and yeah, we need to talk.
We need to talk. Who thought these CGI looked good? When it came out 20 years ago?
Amazing.
Me?
Yeah. Honestly, still.
They should.
Looks pretty damn
You know how
good.
they take the people cheering for like the Avengers
Yeah.
and they
just
put it over something else?
Yeah.
You should put that over when Yoda starts to fight.
Yeah.
When he's not a
I think
puppet
they
anymore.
have.
They have?
I think I've seen that.
Buddy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We sound the same. They don't know that I'm the one that said it. They're like, Landon. He didn't see the
He
video.
didn't see it.
He didn't Google it before he brought it up out of nowhere.
Shoot.
Oh,
Shoot.
dude. That's
crazy.
crazy. What else could they do with that? Hey, did you watch anything?
Those two,
you talked
I've been
about
talking
this.
about it for an hour.
Those don't count as entertainment to me. That's more education, I think.
That's true. Because as comedians, you always have to be...
Whoa!
It happened again. See? It happened again.
I think this
it could happen to you.
I think I am scared of the COVID.
Okay, do you want a little follow-up to my story from last week?
Yes. Oh, the guy?
Mhm.
Yes.
Good guy. He just today we were taking the
guy.
dog for a walk, and he pulled in to the driveway, and
Good guys usually pull out.
he was bringing some
Out.
apples for the horses because he's just a good guy. He wants to hang out and
Yeah.
whatever. So, but anyways, we see him. We're like, hey, how are you, man? Blah blah. We're like being overly nice because we know that it's kind of weird.
So wait, so you knew this guy though, right?
Yeah,
But
we've
you didn't recognize him on the camera.
no, because he had a hat. We couldn't see his face. And
So you didn't recognize him. The police didn't recognize him.
exactly.
This
I'm not
is-
gonna go over this again.
It's just kind of a sad thing. Like if I was on a camera somewhere, I would hope that anyone that knows me would recognize me. But of course, go ahead. He's got the apples.
Yeah.
Usually, hay is for horses, but I guess apples will do.
And I don't know, it was just there's not much of a story, it was just kind of weird. Because we were being overly nice, but we didn't bring it up. And he also was not being talkative at all.
Did he
Like,
bring apples to the horses before this incident?
yeah.
So, okay, he's trying to go back to kind of mission normal.
Yeah.
Like, let's just pretend.
Well, and that's what I was going to, because our dog was there and she was like, you know, just sniffing him and wanting pets and stuff. And I was going to make a joke about, hey, she smells the intruder.
Yeah.
You know, make a
Yeah.
little break the ice or something. But I just didn't. And we didn't talk about it at all. So then I'm left thinking like, is he mad at us? Am I weird? Or is
Well,
he
you did
weird
put an
that
APB out for him.
am I weird, or is he weird that he didn't say anything because he's at my house feeding my animals?
He doesn't have to come over.
I don't know. The whole thing was just kind of strange. So it's not a worry about a potential violent crime happening to you, but now it's just one more thing to put in the bucket of shit I have to think about when I'm trying to fall asleep at night. It's like, God, why didn't I just say literally anything?
Make a joke.
I asked him how he was doing like 3 times, and he just kept saying good.
Yeah. Maybe you should have brought it up. I had something like that happen a couple weeks. Now I can't think of it. I think I've pressed it down too much. I think I've let it.
Yeah.
I think I've let it get to that spot where it's just I know something's wrong, but I can't think about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. So that's good. That's the other resolution.
That's what. Yeah, I typically use like just being a psychopath, or like psychopathy, sociopathy. What do you call it when you're a sociopath?
I don't know. I do the Mary Kondo thing where I fold up my thoughts into 3. I kind of do a 3-fold of it, and that way it fits in a corner of my brain a lot better than before.
Yeah.
So I can't see the design that's on the front of the thought. So I know it's there.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is.
And
I
then
just know it's white or black.
Yeah. And one day in like 3 years, you're going to have to take all of it out because
yeah.
you can't see anything at this point. It's all just little squares. So you'll have to take all of it out and deal with all of it.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Well, thanks.
Did you watch anything? Did I say Kunk on Earth? This is the funniest show.
Did we talk about this on the show or just in person?
I don't know, but
Kunk on Earth is funny.
watch Kunk on Earth.
We both watched it.
You did?
Yes, finished it. Great.
Funny.
Which brings me to my next point. I've done it. I've watched Paul T. Goldman,
Yes!
and I love it.
Yes!
Watched all 6, could barely. I said, I can't stop.
You gotta watch. You gotta
did
keep
stop.
watching. Well, yeah.
Somewhere, but then I picked back up and finished the rest of it. If you haven't watched Paul T. Goldman, what can I say that hasn't been said by all the think pieces and Landon, which is watch the show.
You gotta watch it.
I don't want to give anything away.
I know. Seeing is believing. It's one of those where you just have to sit down and watch it. Just give it a chance.
Get past the first episode. I'm not even saying the first episode's bad.
No.
I'm saying you think you know what's going on. And there's a part, I want to say in episode 3, probably 3 or 4, that was one of the hardest times. Our house was filled with crying, laughing so hard that you're crying. It was so funny, and I can't wait to tell you off air.
I can't wait to hear.
But of course, I can't tell you because you haven't watched it yet. Just know that. And then when, of course, this doesn't happen to you, I don't know. Joey said he laughed so hard he cried. I thought it was kind of irreverent.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was an interesting narrative experiment.
To spend 10 years with this man. How interesting. How interesting. How strange and interesting. What a strange thing. Oh, it's almost like the rehearsal. Oh, great. You too? No, everyone thinks the same stuff. Oh, it was almost like the rehearsal. Has anyone said that before? Yeah. Yeah, they have.
Well, and I said that. But I had to sell it to you somehow.
No, I'm saying everyone's saying that. And you know what's funny? The director. Yeah. He's best friends with Nathan. Yeah. So interesting how the mind works.
Quite interesting indeed.
We've all got 2 eyes, right? The mind's eye and the brown eye.
I do want to say I saw Ant-Man, Quantumania. It was good. I can't say too much because I think my good friend over here is going to...
I think we're going to get a little more in-depth with that a little bit later from now. I did rewatch the Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is the second movie. Of course, the first one being Ant-Man. Second one being Ant-Man and a Wasp. Yeah, the third one, Ant-Man and a Wasp, called Mania. But I did rewatch the second one. Still fun. Still one of my favorites of the Marvel. I like the simple stuff.
Yeah.
I like when they give some BS reason why you can't contact the other Avengers.
Yeah.
You're on house arrest. You cannot call them. You're not allowed to talk to them. And you go, great.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to see you deal with this. It's not... There's always the problem of once the enemies are all trying to destroy the world, it's all the same to me.
Yeah. Yeah, so you probably won't like the new one.
I know.
No, it's...
And if the reviews I didn't want to look at Rotten Tomatoes, but I did, and I went, yoinks.
Yeah. But you have to say, I have to say, it was probably the most fun of the recent outings. Now, of course, in Wakanda Forever, we did have some great performances, and the movie's pretty good. And of course, there was one standout performance, and I can only summarize it as this.
If you can't come up with something to say for your stupid bit, leave them out of it.
No.
No.
That's funny. Anyway, no, it's fun. I'll have a lot more thoughts after you see the film.
Yeah.
But no, it's still... I mean, I love Paul Rudd doing anything.
Yeah, he's one of America's sweethearts. I don't want to say that.
I don't want
I
to.
like him.
Yeah.
I like him.
He's just fun. He's one of those guys that you can't help but like.
And he still seems to be excited about the opportunities he's given.
Yeah.
When Chris Evans comes out with his smug little face and he's like, I can't believe I'm Captain America. I don't buy it.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't trust you.
But when I see Paul Rudd smiling with Martin Short, and he goes, "I can't believe it."
Yeah,
I trust you. Okay.
I trust you implicitly. Implicitly. But God, Kang. Yeah, whatever. You know, like Jonathan Majors is also great. If you haven't seen Lovecraft Country,
Do I need to watch Loki?
no. That is one thing that I'll say. People, this has been a thing now for a while. Like, I can't keep up with the Marvel movies. I'm done. If I have to watch 18 different TV series, you don't. You don't have to. They, within the first 2 minutes of pretty much any movie that I've seen from Marvel, that you would think, looking at it, like, am I going to have to watch WandaVision for the multiverse? But of course, I've also watched all of these things. But because I'm still a fanboy shill.
Yeah.
And I do bow to the mouse house. Okay.
And you think it is cinema, unlike Mr. Scorsese, right?
Now, there's a topic that no one's talked about.
I wish porn was good for your brain.
Yeah, it is.
Well, there was one thing that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, great.
It's just a thought I had.
If you can believe that there is art that is non-fungible, if you can believe there is currency that exists in the visible world of crypto,
Okay.
then how can you not believe there's a God?
And you don't have to answer right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to.
I just don't know how you can how the one thing doesn't lead you to the other. I'll get you someday. I'm gonna get you on my side someday.
say that again.
In the exact same way.
Yeah.
I can kind of verbatim. Does verbatim mean approximate?
No, verbatim is exact.
Okay,
My boy.
Well, if it means approximate, I'll do it verbatim.
If you can believe that there is art that is non-fungible, if you can believe there is currency that exists in the visible world of crypto, then how can you not believe there's a God?
Oh, and
See, everything that existed before God created was non-fungible. And then God created the material universe and everything became a fungible token.
sorry, just sometimes when I think about
It's funny.
what I have
Yeah.
realized,
It is
just
funny.
the fact that you don't believe me, it's kind of funny.
I don't like to think as the material world as being a fungible token. Actually, I do kind of like to think about it that way. It's kind of funny.
It is funny, right?
Yeah.
Well, just something to stew on.
Something to think about. Yeah.
I wish guys could come more than once.
Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.